the street, right? Usually. And the Buddha said, oh, Prabhupada, we go once a week. I said, once a week? Only once a week. But so well, it takes over an hour to get to the town. I said, no. Right here in the temple. Right here, he said. Sankirtan right here in the temple. Every day should be there. And we get this kind of use of words, which becomes kind of like interpreted in such a way. It's not wrong by any means, of course it's not. But it's not complete. Sankirtan means, what does it mean? That's the usual understanding, isn't it? And it's correct. Congregational, Sangha, Kirtan, in the association of others, just like Sadhu Sangha. We said something yesterday, festival. In the association of devotees, we associate with devotees, Sangha, to come together, sadhu with sadhus. So coming together for Kirtan is correct. But it has another meaning, which is more kind of like specific to each and every one of us in one sense. That's a general meaning for, the community. But internally, what is the meaning? Pardon? Param? That's another meaning, of course it is. Kirtan. Kirtan. Kirtan specifically means the glorification of Krishna. It doesn't include necessarily Sangha. But it can or it cannot. But in another reason, and taking that word glorification, which isn't just about sitting there, reciting verses from, some holy script or something. That's also a bit of it, but it means a lot more than that. A lot more. What does it mean? It's not just a recitation of some, holy words or mantras or prayers or something. What is it? Some means also complete. Absolutely complete. It means that we're totally, in every single thought, word and deed, one's engaged in kirtan. So that's what you're telling me now, that I have to go on the street not just once in a while, but 24 hours a day? This is getting a bit too much. He's a fanatic. Unrealistic. No, it doesn't mean that either. It means whatever we're doing it for Krishna. You may be polishing the brass, you may be worshipping the deity, you may be home cooking for the family, you may be driving your car, whatever it is, but it's in consciousness of Krishna. Everything we do, we think how we can do it for Krishna. Maybe because the pure devotee doesn't even think like that. He automatically does that. But it's the principle of seeing and engaging everything in Krishna's service. So it's more than just going on the streets or whatever, some public arena, and at least in public, and chanting the holy names. It's everything. And it's not just everything in that sense, that whatever we do, but it's and wherever we go, but it's with our very self. It's internally, everything. We utilize our very existence for kirtan, for glorifying Krishna. So it's a very all-inclusive subject matter. Sankirtan includes everything which is pleasing to Krishna, basically. And we did discuss last night the essential, let's say, essence, at least in Kali Yuga, of that, on how to develop that consciousness. We heard kind of, I suppose you could interpret anything, but pretty straightforward from Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj how important the performance of Harinam. That means sometimes we're saying we're going on Harinam. Now, going on Harinam, it doesn't mean what we use it for either. You can say, even Harinam Sankirtan doesn't mean what we use it for, does it? Really. Because we've already defined Sankirtan to include more than just going out on the street, far more. And Harinam, what does that mean? I'm going on Harinam, Prabhu. We're going on Harinam, Prabhu. What does that mean? You have to ask Paravita Prabhu, if you know who he is. You know who he is, and know him very well. They're from the same place. He's a professional music stage, what do you call it? Actor, but also musical, you know, that type of thing.
One man.
Yeah, he does on his own. He does it with others too. But you know, in a musical performance, it's not just acting. You know. So it's one of his songs there. So, but what does it mean? I'm going on Harinam. Take it literally. What does it mean? Well, it doesn't even say chanting. It's just Harinam. It's just I'm going on the name of Hari. That's okay. We're living by the name of Hari. You know, my life is based on that. But it doesn't define exactly what you're doing. It's Harinam. It just means the name of God. You've got to define it like that. You don't just say, I'm going car. I'm going car. You know, you'd say, where you going, right? You don't just say, I'm going car. Maybe a child says that, you know. Where are you going? I'm going car. I'm going from here to the car. That's something could be seen. But usually you go somewhere else. You don't usually just go to the car for the sake of going to the car. You should use the car to go somewhere. So Harinam's not, you know, you generally define it. So it's okay. It's a usage of terminology. But so the Harinam, everywhere we can do Harinam. When we heard, maybe a few days, I don't know, maybe not here, but how Prabhupada and Sri Jiva Goswami were emphasizing the importance of chanting at all times. How am I going to do that? You know, I've got other things to do. I've got other things to do. I've got to pick my nose. Whatever it is. Huh? I've got to sleep. Because we heard yesterday, they said, even while eating and sleeping, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, you should chant the holy name. Do you remember that? He said, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, he said, even while eating and sleeping, you should chant the holy name. Got it? Even while sleeping, you should chant the holy name. There is no excuse. But that's like, you know, maybe a little difficult to kind of put that into practice. But everyone says that. Prabhupada says it again and again. Whatever we do, it should be accompanied by chanting the holy name. Even if you're going to the toilet. Yes, he writes that. Srila Prabhupada wrote that. Even when you're going to the toilet, you should chant the holy name. And he says, there we go. Every day we have this exciting display on the screen. Today's a different verse by Kirtan. So we go on to Kirtan. In the sense when we say Kirtan, let's get down to that specific aspect which can and should be present within everything. Just like in the body, we have everything's very important. But, you know, the blood is everywhere, right? Kirtan is like the blood of our movement. Huh? It gives the life, or the breath, life, whatever it is, but that all-pervasive activity, which should be there in everything we do. Huh? Just like in the yajna yesterday, many times you go to an initiation, any yajna, there's no kirtan going on. Here, the Bajara is chanting 1008 mantras. Nobody knows what they mean. He doesn't know what they mean either. They may not even be appropriate to the yajna. On and on and on and on and on and on and this thing and that thing and that. What's next, you know? You just don't know what's coming. Isn't it? Kirtan. Everything was very simple. Lord Chaitanya has made perfection of life simple. The only purpose of all this, yajna, this, that, the other, it may establish some scar in our heart, some impression which gives us a bit of, conviction, hopefully. And it attracts the public, especially in somewhere like Malaysia, where people are into rituals. So if it's done nicely, it may, but I don't know how much it does either, but it may attract the public. Because their rituals are a little different to the ones they're used to. But if it's done nicely, and the Bajara is really, sat there, like a nice South Indian Brahmin, big belly sticking out, Brahmin thread and all big tilak, and looks like he knows what he's doing, and chanting, or whatever it is, pretty impressive. You know, you should get Jarjirtha Tran here one day. He's quite impressive. You know. He knows all these things. He was, well, we're doing Lakshmi Puja. He'll go boom, straight into it. 100 mantras about Lakshmi. Thunk, you know. Impressive. And he's big, you know. So, yeah, but that's not the point of it, just to impress people. Is to get them, the purpose of it all is to get them to chant Hare Krishna, right? That's what we were told anyway. Is it still like that? Or is it? I hope so. So the chanting, it even, Shukracharya, the spiritual master of the demons, what did he say? When Lord Vishnu asked him what was Bali Maharaj's fault, why have you cursed him to go down to the lower planets? What did he do wrong? Of course we know, technically, he disobeyed the order of his initiating guru, so that's an offense, but there's more to it than that. So he asked him, what did he do wrong? Tell me. And Shukracharya said what? What did he say? When Lord Vishnu, after Bali had been whipped down there to the lower planets, Sutala Loka, what did he do? What did he say? Lord Vishnu asked him, why did you do that? What was his fault? What did he say? I mean, you can say the obvious, but what did Shukracharya say? He didn't say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He didn't say that. At least it's not recorded. In the Bhagavatam, what did he say? He didn't even say Krishna Varnam, Trisha Krishnam, Sango Pangashtu Parshadam. What did he say? Mantratas tantatas chidram deha kalaha vastutaha. Now this Prabhupada even writes in the end of that pastime that every sacrifice one should remember. I forgot yesterday. I didn't forget, I remember, I didn't speak about it. But one should speak about this pastime of Bali Maharaj. Interesting, huh? Because that was a great yajna being performed there. So, and what the outcome of that yajna was. And Shukadeva Goswami, you could say, concluded it with this statement, mantratas. Even if all the mantras are wrong, because rest assured, however expert we may sound, we are not expert. However much we try to get the paraphernalia in order, it's not going to be perfect by Vedic standards. However much we try to get the directions correct, they're not going to be completely correct. The place is not going to be completely correct. The time is not going to be completely correct. Everything's faulty. What to speak of the devotees, they've just done their achaman, they're holding their foot with their hand after doing achaman, you know, or whatever it is, you know. Picking their noses, flipping their ears, you know, doing something. Baby sat on their lap and they're in the middle of a yajna. These things go on, don't they? You see? Prabhupada did show that one time in one yajna. He said, start again. He saw one baby with his finger in his mouth in the audience. He said, start it again. Generally, he didn't do that, but he just showed one time. Like that. You cannot possibly, if one little mistake is made, the whole yajna is finished. It's over. You have to start again. There'll be checkers on every single corner, checking on everything. To make sure everything's done perfect according to the Vedic standard. Because we don't follow that, obviously. But he said that even everything's wrong. Maybe he did everything wrong. But even if it is, he said, what did he say? Anu Sankirtanam Tava. He said, if my Lord, if he addressed the Lord Vishnu as his Lord, my Lord, if your holy name is chanted, everything becomes nischidram. Everything becomes perfect. He said that. That's his quote. Shukracharya. So if he says that, we can understand it must be true. Because he's not known as being a great Vaishnava, generally speaking. And so we go on. This verse is from the 11th canto. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We'll try to finish before 9:45, so we're ready for the next program. It's good to fast once in a while. So please repeat, Krishna Varnam. If you don't know this verse, you might be able to learn it. It is one famous verse from the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. There's so many wonderful verses all throughout the Bhagavatam. But this is one of the famous ones, especially for this establishing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. Probably in the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse is probably quoted most in relationship with Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Krishna Varnam, Tvisha Krishnam, Sang, I'm going to break it down. Okay, whoopsie daisy. Saanga, Upanga, Astra, Parshadam, Yagyai, Sankirtana Prayi, Yajanti, He, Sumeda Saha. Now we'll chant the verse together, line by line. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam, Sango Pangashtra Parshadam. I might have to go down a little bit. Yagyai Sankirtanam Prayir, Yajanti Sumedasa. Krishna Varnam Krisha Krishnam, Sango Pangastra Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtanam Prayir, Yajanti Sumedasa. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam, wake up. Sango Pangastra Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtana Prayer, Yajanti Sumedasa. Anybody know this verse without looking at the board? I think, Sridhama, you know it without the board, don't you? I'm not asking you to chant, I'm just asking a question. You do? He's a Pandit from Singapore. Anyone else know this verse without looking at the board? Have you memorized it before? Don't be shy. Achyuta, you know it? A Pandit from Sydney. Where are the Malaysian Pandits? We know there's a lot of bandits in Malaysia, but where are the Pandits? Any Pandits here? Sriratan Pandit, you're a bit of a Pandit. You know this verse, don't you? Yeah, he knows it. You know it's saying Shri Prabhu. Of course he knows it. So we like to chant the mantra. Krishna Navarnam Tvisha Krishnam, Sango Pangastra Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtanam Prayir, Yajanti Sumedasa. Come on. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam, Sango Pangasta Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtanam Prayer, Yajanti Sumedasa. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam, Sango Pangashta Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtanam Prayer, Yajanti Sumedasa. One time Prabhupada said that, you know that, don't you? The warrior was going like this, he said, stop, don't do that. Unless you have some nervous or physical reason, try to avoid it. Obviously, if you've got Parkinson's disease, which you don't have, you can't do anything about it, or some other similar thing, but try not to go like this, you know. Anyone else? Krishna Varnam Krisha Krishnam Sangopangashtra Parshadam Yagai Sankirtanam Praye Yajanti Sumedasaha. Any ladies? Krishna Varnam Krisha Krishnam Sangopangashtra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtanam Paye Yajanti Sumedasaha. Krishna Varnam Krisha Krishnam Pangasta Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtanam Paye Yajanti Sumedasaha. Okay. We'll do the word for word, huh? Krishna Varnam.
Krishna Varnam.
Repeating the syllables Krishna. Trisha. Trisha. With a luster. You know what a luster is? What is a luster? Maybe not everybody knows that English word. Not very common word. Luster. Lustrous may be a little more common. Pardon? Shining, huh? Yeah, very shining, very bright, very shining, very lustrous. Krishnam. Now, this is another meaning of the word Krishna, is blackish. Huh? But here, Krishna means not blackish. Not black. Golden. Saanga. Remember yesterday we gave a name to one devotee? What was that name? It was gold in it. We didn't give them gold, but we gave them a name with gold in. We gave them more than gold. We gave them the opportunity to take shelter of the parampara fully. But what is that word with gold in? Hema. Hema. What was her name? Is she here? Huh? Hema Manjari. Hema Manjari. Manjari, one of the Manjari, but known as the golden one, obviously a golden complexion. Sangha. 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 This word Sangha. Along with associates. Upaanga. Servitors. Astra. Weapons. Parshadam. Confidential companions. For those from Australia, this word astra is interesting. Huh? According to, what's the scientific word, I don't know, but the analysis of words and their origins, Australia comes from Astra. Astralaya. Astralaya, the place of astras. And it's said to be where the Pandavas used to, and others, they used to experiment with their Brahmastras. And why not? Because that was the place where the British used to experiment with their H-bombs and atom bombs, Australia. You know that. The whole, I don't know the name of the desert in Australia, but that has become a desert because it was the place where they used to experiment with their Brahmastras. And now, maybe they've stopped now, but in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they used to use Australia, mostly it's desert, they used to use it for their H-bomb and atom bomb, just experiments. So it's still used like that, Astralaya. They're still doing it? You don't hear about it nowadays, but it's still going on. It was a big thing in the 60s, you know. Australia and the British are letting off their bombs there. In the desert, it's kind of like... So it's interesting, astral weapons. Parshadam. Confidential companions. Parishads, the same root. Yagyai. You all know what that means, it's on the board. By sacrifice. Sankirtanam prayi, consisting chiefly of congregational chanting. Yajanti. They worship. He, certainly. Sumedha. Intelligent persons. Most of these words are quite well-known words. Huh? Translation and purport. The purport is actually by Srila Prabhupada, although it's in the 11th canto. And I won't read it all, it's very long. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So who is this? Who do you think this is referring to? In the age of Kali, so it's got to be the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting. Okay, that we may understand. To worship the incarnation of Godhead, okay, there aren't that many that we know of, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. I don't think Lord Buddha was constantly chanting the names of Krishna, was he? I don't think so. And maybe Kalki? No, he appears at the end of the age. I don't think he was chanting the names. Maybe he was, or is, or will be, I don't know. He comes a little bit later on, though. And who else is there? Who's that one with the fuzzy hair? He wasn't doing either. And certainly he hasn't set the standard. Is there anyone else? I don't think so. Huh? Oh, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was he doing that? It sounds like it might be him, right? What do you think? And was he black? He wasn't black. Was he green? He was golden. Exactly. He had a golden complexion. Not just non-blackish, but golden complexion. Like Radharani, huh? The complexion of Radha. He is Krishna himself. And that was also even the what's his name? Nawab Hussain Shah. Is that his name? Yeah. The king of Bengal. He also felt like that. He must be God. Eventually even the Chankazi concluded that. It wasn't just, a few sentimental Hare Krishnas. But, anyone who really knew him, it's not a human being. So he's accompanied, and so it seems like this is Lord Chaitanya. It seems like it's a pretty clear confirmation. He's accompanied by his associates. He certainly was. Servants, okay. Weapons, well, that may be a question mark. Confidential companions, we can't really question that one. But weapons, that sounds... Did Lord Chaitanya, in those days they didn't have machine guns, but they had... Lord Chaitanya certainly didn't have a machine gun, but he didn't have a bow and arrow either. He didn't have a spear or axe or whatever. Like sometimes the incarnations of Godhead or the Lord, when he appears, he has a weapon, right? A club or an axe or something or another. Sometimes, right? So what weapons does Lord Chaitanya have? Yeah, you could. That's interesting. You say cartels. You could say that, but even that maybe not necessary. He didn't walk around with cartels. Lord Chaitanya, I don't know any picture of Lord Chaitanya playing the cartels. Have you seen one? Lord Chaitanya playing? Has he got one here? Where is he? He's there. Is he there? I know. No, this is devotees or whatever. I don't see one. But that is, he's accompanied by that. So you could say that. Is there anything more to it? His weapons. Pardon? The holy name's a weapon? I'm going to shoot you with a holy name. Well, it's nice in meditation. Maybe yes. Why not? Anything else? Pardon? I think that's what Ananda just said, the holy name. Anything else? His beauty, his effulgence, his beautiful form. It's a weapon, isn't it? They sometimes, don't get me wrong, ladies, but they often say, what is the lady's greatest weapon? Okay, we mentioned nails and teeth the other day, but that's another thing. But in terms of capturing someone's attention, let's say. Huh? Pardon? Attraction, yeah, their beauty, isn't it? Their beauty. Everyone's beauty is in the eye of the perceiver, no doubt, but their beauty, their eyes, whatever is about them, attracts the attention. And Lord Chaitanya was all attractive. It's like a weapon that you capture. Cleopatra, what was that? Roman Empire, what was his name? Antony? Captured, finished. He was finished by the eyes of Cleopatra. Everything was finished. He lost it all. Captured. So this is like a weapon. Lord Chaitanya's beauty, his limbs, all beautiful. Okay, we'll read a little purport. No, we're not going to read much of it. And we're just touching the surface. We'll carry on tomorrow morning with what we were doing yesterday. We're just going around the kind of block, so to speak. This same verse, and this purport is, of course, compiled by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. It's not directly by Prabhupada, but you can see here, this same verse is quoted by Krishnadas Kaviraj in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 3, verse 52. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has given the following commentary on this verse. So the rest of it is mostly, not exclusively, but mostly Prabhupada's comment. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his commentary on the Bhagavatam, known as the Krama Sandarbha. So if you want to go one step further, you have to go to the Sandarbhas. This verse is in the Sandarbhas, wherein he says that Lord Krishna also appears with a golden complexion. That golden Lord is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. This is the unique thing you could say about this line, this Gaudiya Vaishnava line. Huh? Nobody else worships Lord Chaitanya, do they? Certainly not in South India, right? You won't see, maybe there's a deity somewhere or a statue somewhere, because historically he went there. You can go to Puttapati, Sai Baba's head there. You'll find Lord Chaitanya there also. At least a statue of Lord Chaitanya. They recognize everything and everybody. I won't go further on that topic. There's also another famous, very famous, if you've ever been to the Prem Mandir in Vrindavan, the guru of that organization directly considered himself Lord Chaitanya. Absolutely. You go to his main seat in Varshan, paintings of him all over the place, just like Lord Chaitanya. Huh? Yeah, well, don't say that. We don't say the name. So you get this, but that's not really the same thing. That golden Lord, Krishna, is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. So we think, well, I'm not very intelligent. I don't even know how to read and write. One of the devotees who came from this, they didn't take yesterday. Maybe in the future, I don't know. They're illiterate, completely illiterate. Can't read and write. No disqualification at all. In fact, sometimes to read and write is a disqualification. You get proud. So that the qualification is different, isn't it? It's accepting. It's accepting the Shastra, accepting the words of sadhu. Intelligent. And so in this age, Shastra is saying, this is the process. Not the rituals or the practices of previous ages. They're correct, but they're not correct according to time and circumstance. Time and circumstance is a very essential additive in application of anything, whether it's food, medicine, words, isn't it? You've got to know the time, place, and circumstances. You know, the doctor also, even a medical doctor has to understand the patient. Not that this medicine may not work on you. They've got to see if you've got an allergy, if you've got some other physical condition. They've got to know the situation, time, place, and circumstance. You may be too weak to receive that medicine. Everything has to be understood there. Different cultures. You can't impose something on a completely different culture. They're not able to adopt it. Intelligence has to be there in that sense. So that's another aspect of intelligence. But the principle of worshipping Lord Chaitanya and the holy name in this age means you are Sumedasa. You are very intelligent. We don't get proud. If you get proud, then you're not very intelligent. You become a fool again. Pride. But in principle, yes. For most people, they don't. They think this is for the stupid people. Anyone can chant and dance, right? That's for madmen, isn't it? They don't see, most people don't see, what is this? What type of religion is this? Someone comes into the temple, you know, they're ritualistic, some religion or another. They see the devotees like spinning around like last night, you know, throwing each other into the kirtan, jumping up and down, you know, grabbing each other, picking them up and flinging them around. What type of religious practice is this? These are madmen. This is not religion. This is not meditation or yoga. Right? Probably that's what most people would think at first impression, isn't it? Maybe you did too when you first saw it. I don't know. Maybe you did. I can imagine Singeshwar thinking like that. It's kind of weird. Really weird. You know, you start off quite nice sometimes with some nice bhajan or something. Ends up like a rugby scrum or something. Sweating all over the place. Somebody holding their leg. Broken leg or something. Old lady lying on the floor, but hit by one of the men dancing or something, you know. Try to avoid that. Well, that was a fantastic kirtan, Prabhu. Wow, let's have more, kirtan. It's like, what are these guys? It's like, they're crazy guys. It kind of looks like that, huh? Killing, not kirtan. I've been actually injured for life in some kirtans. You asked Niranjan Swami, one of the reasons he can't jump up and down anymore. One of the most famous kirtaniers in ISKCON picked him up in the air, high in the air, and dropped him on the ground. Yeah, that was the end of his knee. You know. He's suffered ever since. You know, things we used to do. You know that, even in Tamanyaro. You were there when Bhakti Vikash Maharaj was there, and the crazy things he used to do. Bhakti Vikash, of all people, the two most fanatic, you know, conservatives in our movement, used to be the wildest of wild men, Bhakti Vikash and Hari Sori. The things they used to do in Kirtan, well, no, you were nothing. What you do now is child's play. I remember we threw, I think your brother, we threw him into a vat of dye during the Kirtan. We go around with dye, you know, hose pipes, you know, squirting dye on everything and everybody. Bhakti Vikash Maharaj. Can you imagine? Crazy. If you came in the temple going, every one of those kids, what do you think we are, you know? It's weird. Can't understand it. Anyway, that's like, we'll go any further down that line, but very difficult for people to understand. They're stuck in their ways also. They don't understand the special feature of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and why it's important to worship him in this age. It's confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Garga Muni. We just finished with a couple more sentences. Who said that although child Krishna was blackish, he also appears in three other colors, red, white, and yellow. He exhibited his white and red complexions in the Satya and Treta Yugas, respectively. He did not exhibit the remaining color, yellow gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Gaura Hari. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varnam means Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Krishna Varnam and Krishna Chaitanya are equivalent. The name Krishna appears with both Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, or Sri Krishna Chaitanya, we say. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he always engages in describing Krishna and thus enjoying transcendental bliss by chanting and remembering his name and form. Lord Krishna himself appears with Lord Chaitanya to preach the highest gospel. Vanayati means utters or describes. Lord Chaitanya always chants the holy name of Krishna and describes it also. And because he is Krishna himself, whoever meets him will automatically chant the holy name of Krishna and later describe it to others. He injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which merges the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna, either by personality or by sound. Simply by seeing Lord Chaitanya, one at once remembers Lord Krishna. One may therefore accept him as Vishnu Tattva. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna himself. Hare Krishna. We have to finish there, and we'll carry on tomorrow morning if Krishna allows, if the Lord wants, with this little subject matter of, touching a little bit on the Sankirtan movement, which is the essence of our lives. Kirtan's, Prabhupada said, Kirtan is our life and soul. It's the lifeblood of our movement, Kirtan. That manifests in, you could say, in a physical shape in the form of books we have on the altar. I don't know who did this, but we see on the altar that I thought maybe I slept too long last night and woke up on Gita Jayanti Day or something. But the altar is covered in Bhagavad Gitas today. So if you think about it, why not? Why not take this on board? Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj emphasized Kirtan so much, but he emphasized in the preaching aspect, he emphasized more book distribution, mass book distribution. That this is Briyat Madanga, this is the big Madanga, this is the big Kirtan. Briyat Kirtan. Big Kirtan. Goes everywhere, all over the world. It's like when people come in the temple, they don't, what is this? But when they read the philosophy, then they become convinced and they also become a madman. Of course, the purity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers automatically could bring people in without question. But we may not be like that, especially if we go out on the street. One's dressed in jeans, and one's got like short pants on, and one's got long hair, and one's got beards, and another one's got tattoos everywhere, and another one's got, God knows what, wearing this and that, wearing a mask, and someone else is like, got boots on, and someone's got no shoes at all, and so, it looks a bit, wild. It doesn't look very, but I would like it to be a little orderly, that they've always dressed, in a nice way. It attracts. When you dress in a do, you don't need to, by the way. But when you do, it certainly attracts, not so much here, but it attracts attention. It attracts attention. And when they're orderly, it is a little impressive, even for a person who don't think we're quite as mad as we are, when we're a little bit orderly, or systematic. Half of them think we're on drugs. But when you see that you're dancing a little systematically, they think, well, maybe they're not on drugs, because people who are intoxicated can't usually do that, They go all over the place. Anyway, these are secondary things, but they're there. But nice. Tomorrow we're going to Penang on the Rath Yatra. It's one of the biggest Rath Yatras in Malaysia, isn't it? Is that right? Right in the city centre. Penang is a very big city north of here. It's a metropolis. It's the up-and-coming Singapore of Malaysia, and streets are packed, absolutely packed. Millions of people there. Krishna Gatamrita can tell us more about it if you want to know more. It's a Rath Yatra if you know what a Rath Yatra is, for instance, in London or Sydney, they don't do it, but They don't do they do Rath Yatra in any city centre in Australia? Nowhere. They don't let us do it anymore. City centre, where? Brisbane. Right round the square, around the city centre. So Brisbane allows us, but in Sydney we don't, do we? Melbourne they don't either. The Gold Coast, yeah. Where do you go in Gold Coast? Along the main surface? So a few cities in Australia, surface, I mean, it's busy, very busy. It's not the biggest city, but it's busy. Maybe a few places, but oftentimes they don't allow you to go in the city centre. But if you go in the city centre in Australia, it's really packed, busy. It's not like, you go through the town sometimes in Malaysia, there's not many people, there's shopkeepers, a few people around. But they're packed. And if you've seen in London, there's millions of people on the street. It's like you've got to fight your way through the crowds almost. So, a lot of people, but it doesn't matter. Wherever we go, Lord Jagannath, and we can't see all the people who are there maybe, but they are there. You go to Bedong tomorrow. Don't get too, what do you call it? Okay, where are the people? They're in the houses, so don't worry, they'll come out the houses. There's one thing about Malaysia, they all come out the house, right? When you do Rath Yatra, all the people come out of the houses. In many countries, they close the windows and call the police. Shut the doors, close the windows, and call the police. Here they don't do that. They come out and they show respect. It's a different reciprocation. It's interesting. Many of them will give donations, and it's great for book distribution. Our book distributors are taking a break, but it's great, isn't it? You're going door to door. Take books. Make sure we take lots of books. Huh? I'm sure they've already got one. They can get another one. They can't remember if they got one already because they put it somewhere. They don't know where they put it. Quite often. So, and the same for us. If you want a Bhagavad Gita, now is an auspicious day. It's Saturday, so it must be auspicious. You can take a book and distribute it. Is that the idea, Shri Chaitanya? Okay, thank you for confirmation. Distribute the books. Engage people. Now, Lakshmi, I'm going to finish on this. I promise. If I don't, just turn the mic off. I promise. This is the secret. Now, I've meditated on this many times. How do you get Narayan? How do you approach Lord Narayan? Through Lakshmi or her servants. How do you approach Krishna? There's only one way to I was listening to a beautiful pastime last night Indrajit Maharaj was telling him. How do you approach Krishna? Through his servants, and particularly through Radharani, right? Without Radharani's mercy, you cannot possibly approach Krishna. Maybe one of his secondary expansions or something. But otherwise you cannot approach Krishna. It's not possible without Radharani's mercy. Right? So, in the same way, when we say distributing books, the book is Krishna. Well, there's everything else too. And if they give... Now, people in general, there's one thing they don't like to give. And what is that? Money. And money is... What is it? Lakshmi. We call Lakshmi. It's the goddess of fortune. Huh? They like to enjoy the goddess of fortune. Do you know someone else who likes to enjoy the goddess of fortune, big scale? Ravana. He really wants to enjoy gold. Hiranyakasipu also, gold and soft beds. Every single person in the universe is a mini Ravana, isn't it? They want to enjoy that which belongs to Narayan, Lakshmi. And if they don't give Lakshmi, how are they going to get Narayan? Right? Ravana didn't want to give Lakshmi. He didn't want to give Sita. He was willing to die, but he wouldn't give Sita to anyone. People are willing to die, but they won't give their money. They'll fight to the death for their money. So if they don't give their money, they're not able to really approach Krishna, because they're a thief. They're a thief. So devotees actually, getting a little donation for people is a major good fortune for them. They don't know it. But they've begun the principle of giving Lakshmi back to Narayan, giving Sita back to Ram. Because not that they ever get it, really. It's only an illusion that they've got. But they think they've got. So this is a great service to engage people's Lakshmi. And if they want to understand that book, but they're not willing to give a donation, why should Krishna reveal himself in that book? He won't. Until they're willing to give. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Does it make sense? What do you think? Makes sense. That's why Prabhupada said we should get a donation for the book. We are giving books in schools, in certain places. That's a different issue altogether. But in general, that's the case. People who are attached, the children don't know what's the case. Innocent, have no money anyway. But that's different. But when people have got money and they're attached to that money, Krishna's, not going to reveal himself to that person, at least not in the way that, favorably. So if you get a donation, then they get benefited. They become eligible to start to understand what all this is about, what this mad Sankirtan people are doing. They get a little eligibility, step by step. Agyata Sukriti. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haribol.